fading November light. It was dinner hour in Yorktown. Gilbert Coney and I had done our part to join the feast, detouring up into Spanish Harlem for the burgers. There's only one White Castle left in Manhattan, on East 103rd. It's not as good as some of the suburban outlets. You can't watch them prepare your order anymore, and, to tell the truth, I've begun to wonder if they're microwaving the buns instead of steaming them. Alas. Taking our boodle of thusly compromised sliders and fries back downtown, we double-parked in front of the Target address until a spot opened up. It only took a couple of minutes, though by that time the doormen on either side had made us as out of the place and nosy, anyway. We were driving the Lincoln, which didn't have the T-Series license plates or stickers or anything else to identify it as a car service vehicle. And we were large men, me and Gilbert. They probably thought we were cops. It didn't matter. We chowed and watched. Not that we knew what we were doing there. Minna had sent us without saying why, which was usual enough, even if the address wasn't. Minna agency errands mostly stuck us in Brooklyn, rarely far from Court Street, in fact. Carroll Gardens and Cobble Hill together made a crisscrossed game board of Frank Minna's alliances and enmities, and me and Gil Coney and the other agency men were the markers. Like Monopoly pieces, I sometimes thought, tin automobiles or terriers, not top hats, surely, to be moved around that game board. Here on the Upper East Side, we were off our customary map, automobile and terrier in Candyland, or maybe in the study with Colonel Mustard. "What's that sign?" said Coney. He pointed with his glistening chin at the townhouse doorway. I looked. "Yorkville Zendo," I read off the bronze plaque on the door, and my fevered brain processed the words and settled with interest on the odd one. "Eat me, Zendo," I muttered through clenched teeth. Gilbert took it, rightly, as my way of puzzling over the unfamiliarity. "Yeah, what's that Zendo? What's that?" "Maybe like Zen," I said. "I don't know from that." "Zen like Buddhism," I said. "Zen master, you know." "Zen master? You know, like Kung Fu master." Said Coney. And so, after this brief turn at investigation, we settled back into our complacent chewing. Of course, after any talk, my brain was busy with at least some low-level version of echolalia salad. Don't know from Zendo Ken like Zung Fu, Feng Shui master, fungo bastard, Zen masturbation, eat me. But it didn't require voicing, not now, not with White Castles to unscrew, inspect, and devour. I was on my third. I fit it into my mouth, then glanced up the doorway of 109, jerking my head as if the building had been sneaking up on me. Coney and the other Minna agency operatives loved doing stakeouts with me, since my compulsiveness forced me to eyeball the site or mark in question every 30 seconds or so, thereby saving them the trouble of swiveling their necks. A similar logic explained my popularity at wiretap parties. Give me a key list of trigger words to listen for in a conversation, and I'd think about nothing else, nearly jumping out of my clothes at hearing the slightest hint of one, while the same task invariably drew anyone else toward blissful sleep. While I chewed on number 3 and monitored the uneventful Yorkville Zendo entrance, my hands busily frisked the paper sack of castles, counting to be sure I had 3 remaining. We'd purchased a bag of 12. And not only did Coney know I had to have my 6, he also knew he was pleasing me, tickling my Tourette's obsessive-compulsive instincts by matching my number with his own. Gilbert Coney was a big lug with a heart of gold, I guess. Or maybe he was just trainable. My tics and obsessions kept the other Minutemen amused, but also wore them out, made them weirdly compliant and complicit. A woman turned from the sidewalk onto the stoop of the townhouse and went up to the door. Short, dark hair, squarish glasses, that was all I saw before her back was to us. She wore a peacoat, swirls of black hair at her neck under the boyish haircut. 25, maybe, or maybe 18. "She's going in," said Coney. "Look, she's got a key," I said. "What's Frank want us to do?" "Just watch, take a note. What time is it?" Coney crumpled another castle wrapper and pointed at the glove compartment. "You take a note. It's 6:45. I popped the compartment. The click release of the plastic latch was a delicious hollow sound, which I knew I'd want to repeat at least approximately, and found the small notebook inside. "Girl," I wrote, then crossed it out. "Woman. Hair, glasses, key, 6:45. The notes were to myself, since I only had to be able to report verbally to Minna.